You know, I was at a Walmart recently on the Oregon coast. Within a month ago, I saw a guy walk out with $700 worth of groceries in a cart. Right out the front door. I even told one of the assistant managers. I said, I think that guy just walked out without paying. You guys aren't paying attention here. And they looked around like, what? I said, a guy just walked out with $700 in free groceries, took off out the front door real fast. He didn't go through the checkouts. So they went outside and the guy was gone. $700 in groceries like that. I was just in a store today on the Oregon coast. I saw a guy just very casually, he had like 8 items in his hand. He walked past the manager, around the self-checkout, and walked right out the front door, and I could tell he was stealing it because he was in kind of a hurry. Now, he only had like $30 or $40 or $50 worth of stuff. He walked right out the front door. And I would say within the last couple years, I have seen, personally, about 6 or 7 people do this, and still, I go into a store and you can tell they're not paying, and they hang out by the front door like they're going to buy something. And when the manager turns their back, they walk straight out the front door and nobody knows anything. Because, you know, a lot of people don't bag their groceries now. I mean, Walmart and other stores have figured this out, that the self-checkouts are costing them like $1 billion a year nationwide just at Walmart. I mean, all the grocery stores combined is costing them several $billion a year in theft. And who do you think pays for that? We do. The honest people. Now they took back when I was 20 years old, 5% of people would steal if they thought they would never get caught. Because your conscience would stop you from stealing because of God, your belief in God and religion. So I would say about 10 years ago, maybe 15% of people would steal if they thought they could get away with it. Well, they did a survey on the self-checkouts. How many of you would steal if you thought you could get away with it? It was like 55%. And that's a result. You see, this is a Christian channel. I'm a Christian. That's a result, an end result of no Jesus, no Bible in society. Because stealing is a matter of conscience. You know, like your mother. Would you steal in front of your mother? You know, your mother taught you, do not steal. About half of the 10 commandments, do not steal, do not covet thy neighbor's wife, do not covet thy neighbor's goods. I mean, a very large portion of the Bible, the Old Testament, is about stealing and envy and lust and desire for things and laziness. And we live in a society today that says, well, you know, it's not hurting anybody except the corporation. Well, it's not hurting anybody except the federal government pays. Where do you think they get that tax money to give out all that welfare? Yeah, this guy just walked right out the door today, and like at Walmart, that guy had a whole cart full of really expensive frozen meats and fresh meat, and he walked right out the door at the Walmart down in Coos Bay. And I told them, and they couldn't find the guy, and they said, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it. And it was during a time when the Walmart greeter was at lunch, and they didn't replace the greeter during his lunchtime. The greeter wasn't there. They have to give him lunch, and the manager was supposed to be watching and wasn't watching. So it's a little concerning. We live in a society now where about 30% of people will actually try to steal something this year. Well, I'm going to end this video. You want to know what that will result in? A complete breakdown of society. That actually will result in a complete, total breakdown of society. And that's pretty scary right there. We're living in America today where about 30% of the people still on a regular basis walk right out the front door of a business. In my lifetime. I mean, if you stole something when I was like 10 years old like that, the police would literally come and beat the living crap out of you. And then the store owner would beat you up, and then you'd go home and your parents would beat you up. I'm not making that up. And that's if you didn't go to jail. Then if you went to jail, the judge would beat the living hell out of you. And there was this huge deterrent, do not steal. So I'm saying we live in a society today where about 30% of all people want to steal on purpose. And they do it regularly, maybe once a month. And I'm telling you, I know this video is not going to make any difference. But that's just sad. But just remember, if you're one of those people who steal like this and you're listening to this video, God writes down every single thing we do. And one day you will have to answer for every single thing you ever stole from someone.